So the big question is this: how do small businesses like yours, who feel like you're doing all the right things and going to all the right events, reach the federal buyer in a way that helps you win more contracts? That is the question, and this is the place to get your answers. My name is Neil McDonnell. Welcome to the GovCon Chamber of Commerce. Okay, let's get started. My name is Neil McDonnell with the GovCon Chamber of Commerce, and I want to bring to you just a quick LinkedIn update. I've been doing a series of videos, and I'm going to continue to do this for a while as I work to improve my LinkedIn social selling index. And that number, just to remind you, is a number LinkedIn uses to say, how active are you on their platform? Are you doing the things necessary to raise you in visibility among your connections, right? There's no reason to be on LinkedIn. There's no reason to have connections if you aren't going to be using that to network and to grow your business in whatever way, whatever that means for you. So I want to just show you where we're at. Before I get started, I'm going to show a spreadsheet version of this, right? I started this on March 9th, 2021. So only 4 days ago, 5 days ago. 4 days ago, I get my math wrong. Anyways, and what I started off with was the 𝗵𝗍 SSI, and I'll show you again and remind you that. And there hasn't been a lot of progress going forward. Definitely there's view count over on column I here at the end. 248 people have looked at my profile in the last 90 days when I started. Now I'm up to 277, which is great. I'm having people look at my profile. But one of the things I noticed is that my SSI finally went up after 3 days to 71. And I'll show you kind of some of the traffic I've done to do this. But looking at these categories, and I'll show you these categories so the acronyms explain it more, but you can see there's no change at column C. Column D has changed from 18.68 to 91, 99. So there's change in there, and there's change in the EWI, which is engagement. And then there's no change, obviously, in BR because that's maxed out at 25. So I'm going to come back and show you what I've done and how that might help me understand what I could do more of to engage my connections, and hopefully they see what's important to me and that I think would be useful to them. Last one is column H. You see where I was at 10%, and now I'm at 9%. And I'll show you what that means if this is your first video. So first thing, this view is a fun view for me. I always come in here and just, I said I'm looking at this. In the last 4 days, I've taken this increase, I think it was like 25%, negative 25% over the last 90 days. Now it's to 170% in this last week. And you can see this hockey stick just raise of the chart. And I got to assume in the next couple of weeks, you will see this just go up into the hundreds. And so there'll be this massive jump up, which is normal, right? When you do any effort, you're going to start seeing results. And so I'm measuring the view count at the moment as a way to say, am I reaching the people I'm looking for? So anyways, that's just a quick update there. You can see massive increase the minute you start doing something that you should be doing, like getting engaged again on LinkedIn. Then you start reaching a lot more people. So 170% increase is awesome. And then I'm going to come over here. I mentioned that the 9%, it was 10%, now it's 9%. That's your network rank. And so of everybody in my network, I have 16,000 or so connections. Of those 16,000, I rank now in the top 9% for SSI. And theoretically, that means the most visible, most engaged out there. Now, my goal is to get into the top 1%. That's doable for any of us if you're engaged and you're doing stuff. And it really doesn't have anything to do with whether you have 16,000 or 160 connections, right? It's the same thing. It's your network and how engaged are you in there. And then the same thing for industry. You can see my industry is a lot more tightened up and I'm much higher. I'm in the top 3%. I told you about these numbers. So right here, 2132 is the first place it went up. If you click on this question mark, it tells you, and I'll just read it to you in case it's too small on your phone or something, but basically you're establish your professional brand by completing a really good profile, and then becoming a thought leader by publishing meaningful posts. And you'll see this in a minute, but I'm definitely doing that. And then the other one that went up was engage with insights. And that's about discover and share conversation worthy updates to create and grow relationships. And that's basically where you're engaging with other people's content is how I get this number to start coming up. So let's go ahead and look at just some of what I've done in my activity. I'm going to go home here and I'll just go to this post here. So I just put a post out a minute ago. Let me zoom down a teeny bit just so you see this. I just put a post out a minute ago related to the Army Cloud, right? This is my content that I like sharing. When I'm doing my other activities, other job related stuff, I find the strategic documents and I analyze them for my customers and really help them create a plan around how to reach out. I use these as ways to understand what I want to understand about the government and share with industry as a whole. So with each of you, you'll see me do a lot of these. And I tell people, always make sure you're sharing the content that is wanted by your audience. Just because you're a small business, don't share similar stuff that I do. I'm targeting the small business industry because I am the GovCon Chamber of Commerce and we represent all small businesses. But if you're actually targeting the Navy or Department of Education or cloud or construction, try to find content that's around that. So anyways, you can see from these posts that I put out a couple of key documents and I always analyze them, right? My posts aren't just about dumping junk in there. People don't need that. I read these documents through and through and I understand what's important about it and whether they're a good document or not. So I put this one out a few minutes ago. It's picking up traffic, not a lot of views yet because it was just like 30 minutes ago. But here's the one I did the day before. This is the Army Cyber Strategic Plan. And this fits spot into what I'm looking for finding for my connections. And I'm really trying to share with them the 3 main levels of effort in the Army cyber side. That's a huge deal for the people I work with. And the engagement is great. This was one day ago, 1,800 views, 15 people are engaging it. That means liking it. For me, and if you're in the GovCon space, don't worry about the people engaging. The view count is kind of helpful because you can see what the reach is. But the people who comment and like, it's far less in our world than it is in any other world because in the GovCon world, we're just much more conservative. If I click on this, this particular post view, I can see who am I reaching. So right now, a surprising one for me is NASA, but GSA is great, Microsoft. It would be nice if I reached the Army in here. So I shared an Army document and the Army is not sitting at the top. But this is perfect, right? I shared a document that's reaching this company Uncommon who does that type of work, Amazon Web Services and the cloud side, and cyber fits right into that world. They're there. And then these large firms, 𝘄cie, this is the people I want to reach, right? I obviously am trying to put the content out for small businesses to help them, but there's not as many employees in there. I think Uncommon is still a small business, but for most companies, they won't have as many people looking at my content, 1 or 2 people. But inside of the government and large primes, I get a lot. So, 15 reactions, 2 comments, this is good. And so this is the type of post I put out, right? The Army Cloud Strategic Plan. The other one I did, just going with a theme this week earlier, was putting out one related to the Army Cyber Command. And in here, this document's very relevant. One of the things, a tip I'll give you, so this is 2 days ago and it's 2,000 views. I think I'll get around 2,000 views for any post that I put out that's good and relevant. So let's just look at that one, right? So you can understand the reach. So here, this was awesome. Massive amount of people from Air Force, which is, 2-3 times the size of the next highest one. But Booz Allen, SAIC, Navy, there's Uncommon again, Leidos, 𝘄cie, Amazon. So, I'm reaching these broader audiences, which are great. I've told people about the locations before. This video, I want to keep you focused on just the type of posts I put out. So there's the cloud one from today, strategic plan from yesterday. The day before that was the Army Cyber Command. This one, by the way, I just love because the Cyber Command was telling us what their problems are and how they want industry to help. And then this one here was the first one I kicked it off with. I did that one strategically, a nice, beautiful, let's call it a clickbait type view. I didn't do this, the Fleet Cyber Command did it, but that was Navy. So I did Army and Navy here on cyber side. But same thing, I make sure I put in 1,300 characters of content that's summarizing what's in here. I want to be able to summarize it out. And again, basic amount of engagement, around 2,000 views, including the person who just did it. This one again surprises me. It's FEMA with a whole bunch in there, which is amazing. This is a Navy document, and it attracted the attention of DHS right here. These two are DHS. So I'd actually be really curious on who these people are. This is important for me to learn. Why is FEMA and DHS so interested in what I did? And this is what I'm trying to tell you in the GovCon space. You're not just trying to reach teaming partners, but the federal government is hungry for information. And as long as you can keep the salesy part of it out, and you're really truly giving them value through your content, they'll appreciate it. And don't worry about if you ever know who they are. I get people all the time. I'll meet them. They're like, "Oh, Neil, I've been reading your content for a year." I'm like, "Come on, you couldn't have given me a thumbs up or told me who you are." And that's fine. You know, they hover in the background, but they're getting value from me and they're appreciating what I give them. And your connections, your customers would be the exact same. They would appreciate you sharing your expertise with them so that they can keep learning through you. But again, I look at these things. There's my Army. The Army's on the Navy post, but they didn't get as high on their own post. But this is perfect, right? Army, Navy, Air Force, DHS. These are the people I want to reach, which is awesome. And it helps me be able to learn more about their organizations. So, okay, let me pause, just bringing it back. The reason I was doing the update today is just show you that these two numbers, establish a professional brand and engage with insight, have gone up, which has increased my SSI from 70 to 71. And I just wanted to show you some of the content I've done that got me to that stage. So that's our wrap for today. If you found the content valuable, others will too. Please give it a thumbs up so they can find it. If you'd like to connect with me personally, do so on LinkedIn, or you could just put my name in one of your pieces of content, and it'll get shared both to me and my connection. So try that. We often do free training webinars and interview federal buyers and put that content out here on our site. Sign up for the GovCon Chamber's email list to be notified about these opportunities. And you can do that at www.govconchamber.com, like you see right here. And then finally, please consider becoming a sustaining member of the GovCon Chamber of Commerce. Help us keep bringing you great content like this for $1 a day. I'm Neil McDonnell, wishing you great success.